Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So listen, 85% of consumers want to see more videos from brands. Did you hear that? 85% of consumers want to see more videos from brands. And most consumers want more videos from brands just like you. The problem is 67% of viewers say video quality is the most important factor when watching a live stream. In fact, more than 50% of live streaming viewers leave a low quality stream in 90 seconds or less. Oh my goodness, can you imagine that? That means now more than ever, brands can and should leverage the power of live video, but they simply can't afford to mess up. That's where you and your agency come in. Welcome back to Agency Accelerated, where we explore ways to grow and scale your agency with some of the most trusted brands in the industry. We're live Wednesdays this quarter at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So make sure you head on over to agorapulse.com/calendar and subscribe so you don't miss any of this season's episodes, because let me tell you, it's been amazing, jam-packed, power-packed with all the things. So hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Liu and I'm here with my good friend Katie Fawkes. And in today's episode, we're talking about an extremely lucrative and specialized service so you can add to your agency that will absolutely help you bring in more clients as well as drive more revenue from the clients you may already have. So stay until the very end because you'll get a chance to get your hands on yet another way to add more revenue to your marketing agency. So I want to give a quick shout out to our live audience. Thank you so much for being here. To the whole entire crew, absolutely love seeing you. We're going to learn so much today. So grab your notebooks, all the things, because we're going to go ahead and get started. So listen, let me ask you a question. If you had more revenue coming into your agency from a more diverse set of clients, how would that impact your business? Think about that. More revenue coming into your agency from a diverse set of clients. And not only that though, but delivering a service that is absolutely so much fun. How would that impact your business? All right, let's go ahead and bring on today's guest. So, Katie, it's you. I'm excited. We're like besties. I absolutely love her. So Katie Fawkes is the director of marketing at Ecamm Network, where she gets to work alongside some of the most amazing live streamers and content creators out there. She helps them reach their goals and grow their business using video marketing and live streaming. She's been working in the world of marketing for her entire career, and the coolest thing about her is that she keeps backyard chickens, and yesterday they got swings.
They did. It was my birthday, but they got a swing, so it'll be an exciting
But
turn of
so
events.
do chickens
Lots of
smile
videos,
when
you guys.
they show, like,
Lots of
do
videos.
they express emotions?
Yeah, so who likely they're going to be terrified of it and not go anywhere near it, and it'll be an epic fail. But it will make for fun videos, fun TikToks and Instagram reels. It basically just hangs, and they can perch on it, and if they move a little bit, it'll start to swing. So we'll see what
Okay.
happens.
I am waiting for this TikTok video and all the different things. I'm waiting for your TikTok channel of chickens to blow up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like mine will just stand around, kind of staring at it, being like, What is that? What are we
Awesome.
supposed to do with that?"
That's adorable. I can't wait to see that. So, Katie, welcome to Agency Accelerated. I am beyond excited to have you here. So, the first question that I have for you today is, can you start off with sharing more about who Ecamm is and what they offer?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you haven't heard of us yet, it is so great to meet you. Please reach out to me during the show, after the show, anytime at all. You can find me really easily. All things Ecamm, ECAMM on all the different channels, or email me directly, katie@ecamm.com. because you are going to want to learn more about this app. We make a powerful live streaming and video production software called Ecamm Live. It helps you live stream like what we're doing right now, but it also helps you create better video. And it's something that many of us, whether you are an agency, a business owner, an individual, we all struggle with, we all want to be better at, and Ecamm Live makes it really easy and really fully customizable so that you can start really simply and scale up to whatever level your heart desires. We are here to help you throughout the entire journey.
And Ecamm has been absolutely amazing. I remember the first time I discovered it. Gosh, when did I first meet Ken and Glenn? It was probably 2016. I was
Yeah.
still wrapping my brain around OBS, which I like to call the IKEA of live streaming. You're just like, bloop, here you go. Now add in all your different things. And the first time I saw that video from our good friend Leslie Samuel, and it just his reaction video, and then
It's the greatest
I
video.
experienced the magic of it. And ever since then, Ecamm, the community, the support, and all the different levels of innovation that you've had over the past couple of years has just been exciting. And now we have this lucrative offering that we're able to offer clients for live streaming. So much fun. So much fun.
Yeah,
Cool. And hey,
yeah, it's really incredible. I think when when the app first started, I think it's been about 4 years ago now, the concept is really like, how can we help people go live easily? Live streaming was
yeah.
becoming really popular. More and more people, businesses were starting to jump into that space. And so the app at that point was just really simple. It literally just helped you to go live to, Facebook, YouTube, I think Twitter at the time, or Periscope as it was called at that point. And really kind of geared towards just simplicity, helping you to get out there. And then this just amazing community of customers and live streamers and video producers just started springing up around us, and the ideas just started flowing. And now Ecamm Live really is an entire production studio. So, you want to connect a better camera, you got it. We're here to help. Multiple cameras, no problem. Microphones, yep. You want to plan everything in advance. You want to bring on guests. You want to send everything out through Zoom. It can help you from start to finish. And really the mass majority of the features that we have are just from amazing creators sharing their videos like Leslie did back when you saw it, and just being like, this is amazing. Can it do this?
Oh my gosh, the fact that
Things
you
have
can
become.
drag and drop assets. I was like, wait a second, you're just saying that I can take this lower third graphic that I created in Keynote or Canva or Easel and just boop, and it's there and everyone can see it? Oh my gosh, I'll probably have to like go into the vault and see like my very first video. I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like the biggest challenge, and probably what many of you watching are facing, is certainly what I faced before I joined the Ecamm team, is that video production, especially for businesses, by and large has been costly. It's costly to produce it. You need to have a video team, on site. You need to worry about
Yeah.
scripts and equipment and gear, and it's a huge investment, both in your
Yeah.
time, in what you need to learn. And so I think live streaming made that a lot easier, but there's still a lot of kind of fear and lingering concerns from kind of that original process, and a lot of people who are wondering, how they can get into that. And so I would challenge you with what Stephanie said at the top of this show, is that it's an amazing opportunity for agencies. If you can make this feel easy, approachable, if you can turn it into a program, something that a business can rinse and repeat in it, and it's generating a ton of amazing content and engaging their customers, you're winning not just in helping them to create amazing live streams, but helping them build an entire content marketing machine that's centered around video. And that's where the future is. So, I
Oh
think
yeah.
there's just such cool opportunities right now. And
Yes.
software that makes it easy, really easy for you to jump in and get started.
Totally agree. I think everyone that is now embracing a video first strategy, live streaming is one of the best ways to go about that. And not only that, though, but I find myself, because it has also the guest interview feature and functionality, I don't even use Zoom, because I would rather just put them into here and then be
Yeah.
able to share all the different things with them. Because then once they get used to the studio, then it's like you're planting the seed of all the different things that are possible, and it gets really exciting. Cool.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because and we were talking about this before we jumped on live, but I had been still have still been using Zoom, namely because Ecamm was at the time missing a couple of tiny features that Zoom was helping me out with. And we
Yes.
just released those into our beta group, so they are coming soon, in the next little bit here.
I know. I was like, I need to make sure that the beta group is at the top of my news feed because again, it's like Christmas when I hop on with you and I'm like, what? You did what? Like, how did I miss that? But
Yeah,
let's go ahead and
so those features, just so that everyone knows, so the things that were kind of slowing me down and keeping me on Zoom for client calls and trainings and all the things that we do on a regular basis was that Ecamm has what's called a back channel audio. So you can when you are rolling a video clip or you're live or you're just chatting in Ecamm without being live or recording a video, you can open up kind of an audio discussion behind the scenes while something else is going on.
got it.
But we didn't have text chat, so it made it a little tricky if you were like, BRB, I'm just going to run to the washroom, or something else that you needed to be able to say, or like, hey, Stephanie, there's a weird cat behind you, watch out. Anything you wanted to be able to say behind the scenes. So now that is a feature within Ecamm. It's right now in the beta testing group, but it'll be rolling out to the entire app-wide, platform-wide shortly. And then the other one that's really exciting, particularly for agencies, is now our entire guest studio. So whether you run a show or you're using it for calls, it's completely brandable. So you can add your customer's logo, you can change the links, you can do a whole bunch of really amazing things so that experience on your customers' end, your clients' end is just fully white labeled. You're able to do absolutely anything you need to do. So I think that'll make it really great for particularly for selling into some of your clients, or in your case today, running a show like this. When I enter the back end of this guest suite, it'll just be like all Agora Pals, all Agency Accelerated, which is a really fun
Yeah.
feeling
And
during
so
it.
is the white labeling piece, is that still in beta or is that rolled out officially?
Both of those are still in beta, so we're testing them right now. Beta is open to anyone, so you can come help us test and play around with it, suggest things that you might want changed or tweaked. This is the kind of fun time where we're taking a lot of feedback and hearing how it's working for everyone. But usually our test period's not crazy long, so if it's already into beta testing, it means it should be coming out soon for everyone.
Exciting, exciting, cool. So, Katie, here's the next question for you is how easy is it to bring on or add remote live production services to an agency?
It's easier than you think. I think many of us, as I said earlier, kind of have this preconceived notion in our heads about how complicated or cumbersome or expensive live streaming and video production is.
Hmm.
It's not. It really comes down to having a really smooth process and having specific team members who can get up and running quickly, right? Yeah, so process, organization, and internal team members, because the complicated part of it isn't actually the live streaming or the video
Yeah,
creation. That's significantly easier than it ever used to be. The complicated part is getting people feeling comfortable, creating a process and a system and a strategy that's
oh
going to
yeah,
work. So you want to be able to build out that service in a way that your team knows how to sell it in and flow through it and make your clients feel really comfortable and supported, and in a way that clients are going to understand, because it is a newer service, a newer technology, and you want to make sure that you're really selling in the value of it, which I think goes beyond just live streaming and into all of the ability of repurposing and and building out a entire video content marketing structure that's going to
yes,
feed your marketing, right? So, and I know you've done this a ton, Stephanie, in the past, and even now, it really kind of thinking through the big picture. So if your agency is already doing social ads or anything in the kind of social marketing space, which I would hope and assume that you all are, live video plays into that so beautifully. You can turn video clips into ads. You can really kind of create this full full circle experience for customers, which I think is really fantastic.
Love it. I love it. It's definitely been a wonderful journey as far as live streaming because to your point, what I've done now, I've shifted as an agency, and this is for those of you that are looking to try something different, is now these days I'll have like a VIP day with clients where we'll map out their whole entire content strategy and all the different topics that they could talk about,
Yeah.
services and series and all the different things. And then we'll do a done in a day filming, right? So done in
Yeah.
a day filming and we use Ecamm, we film all the different things. And then at that point, it's like, here are all your raw files. It already has like the overlays and whatnot. But if now you want to go ahead and repurpose it, then you could either send it out to a video editor or just have our team repurpose that for you. And because you're a social media agency, you're also knowledgeable as far as like how to schedule that content out. And now you have content that continuously goes out in perpetuity. So it's exciting.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's really smart. I mean, I think tools like Ecamm make it again easy for lack of a better word, where every live stream you do, we're saving a recording of that directly
Yep.
onto your computer. We're saving all of your scenes and all the different elements that go into that video. You can have your team creating for your clients, and then it's just a matter of either sending out that entire production to your client and having them run it, or you're driving it for them. And then when you're done a live video, you're done. You have that video recording. You can edit that or repurpose that in a number of different ways. And again, yeah, that could be a service that you offer or a partner that you work alongside that's going to handle all the video editing. But it is amazingly comforting as a client to say like, okay, we did this thing once, or we have a consistent schedule set up, and that's our entire social calendar done. Like
Done.
all of our posts and our ads are just like updated from that one investment, from that one experience, which is really reassuring and helps to build up that level of confidence as well in your clients.
Yeah, and I love all of those benefits and even the fact that when you're recording, let's say remote live video recording, just recording, not even going live,
Yep.
right? You can record in different formats, like different shapes and sizes and also different quality levels for it. And so these are some of the benefits that you wouldn't have in other conferencing platforms, right? Where
Yeah.
the quality is degraded and you don't have control over the audio and all the different things.
Yep.
That's what's awesome about Ecamm. So,
Yeah.
Katie, what are your thoughts or what have you seen as far as agencies pitching their services for like live streaming in general?
Yeah, it's becoming a lot more common. I think we've seen a really big shift in our customers and our members moving from, last year they were jumping on board and, starting up their own shows and their own podcasts and really just building and generating a ton of video. Now we're seeing a ton of our members who are just incredibly proficient in it. They now have huge studios. They have a really great understanding of all of the different gear and the elements that go into running a regular live show. And so now the next, logical kind of step on that journey is for them to say like, now we want to be able to offer this as a service, or I want to set myself up as a remote live producer, being able to help empower other businesses to be as successful as the success that they've seen from just getting up and starting themselves. So I think it's just sort of becoming kind of the next step on a natural progression, is that when you get that
Yeah.
level of comfort and you see the benefits of how your business can grow and the community that you can build through live video. And again, the being able to kind of build out your entire calendar that way and really thinking through all the different use cases for video content, it makes it really easy to kind of see yourself moving into that next step of how can I take this out and be able to offer this as a service. And again, that I know we're talking right now about specifically about agencies, but I think that's becoming a more popular role in the world of video production. People are really
Hmm.
thinking through like how they can become remote live producers. So it's a great time to be able to train a couple of staff members on your team to be remote live producers, to be able to have that comfort level understand all of the nuances of
Yep.
scheduling and gear and setting up a studio and helping guests and clients feel comfortable on camera is just going to be a really amazing way to build out your services list.
Agree. I remember there are some times like when agencies had first started and they would have their regular disciplines as far as like PR, creative, and then you had paid media, and social media was one of those things that would be, it was kind of shared between PR, right? PR would also do PR and also social media. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, and then social media eventually evolved where it became its own discipline. And so now what we're seeing in the industry is that there's social media folks that are now also dipping their toes into live streaming. And my prediction, which let me tell you, majority of my predictions are coming true. Let me just say that, okay? And so my prediction is that now these agencies are going to start bringing live streaming in-house. There's going to be a dedicated role. Your creative director is going to be creative director for all of your advertisements and all the different things, your branding designs and all that other stuff, but you're going to have an executive producer. You're going to have an executive producer, you're going to end up having like a technical producer and all the different things, and it's not going to be as cumbersome as before where clients used to have to hire a video marketing agency only,
Mhm.
because I'm
Yeah.
also still seeing a disconnect with video marketing agencies only, where they have all the fancy gear and all the different things and they know how to edit and production house, but they're still relatively new to live
Yeah.
streaming. And so they're using these bigger brand names for live streaming and they're charging their clients an arm and a leg. In fact, Katie, I almost lost my mind that a client of mine had reached out and says, yes, we're doing an event. It's going to be pre-recorded video and it's costing us 5 figures to play pre-recorded video live on this platform. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, first of all, these live streaming platforms let you upload pre-recorded video and play them as live for free. So what is happening here? And so I think agencies in general have to be very mindful of what's happening in this arena and all the different things that are happening. So having said
Yeah,
that, go
I think
ahead.
it's going to be interesting because I think, like you said, sort of social was always kind of like sitting, like you said, kind of nestled under the world of PR. Now it's not, and it really will in many cases be the conduit between video and just all other services. Because as you think about it, really that is how people are going to consume your video for the most
Yes.
part. Like it, hopefully it's also sitting on your website, or or you have an event platform or something else that you're using as a client. But by and large, people are going to discover your video, whether it's live or recorded, on YouTube, on Facebook, in a Facebook group, on Twitch, on Amazon Live, on all these other different platforms. And it really does have that social connection, that social element. So yeah, I think we're all going to be really careful when we think about pricing it and explaining it and how it fits into a package, because it is not the same as regular video production. It is significantly cheaper and easier, and it really is very intertwined with social media and with kind of that social experience. And so I think it's going to be really important to keep an eye on, and really likely for a bit it's probably going to sit under social media in
Oh,
that
I
area, as you're thinking
definitely think
about how you're
so.
going to leverage it.
Agree. Goodness. Oh my God. I love this topic. Obviously, I love live streaming. I love Katie. So, hey, everyone, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about adding additional streams of revenue to your agency as a remote live producer and why it's important. But first, a quick reminder and bonus for all of you. This show is brought to you by Agora Pulse, voted the #1 social media management tool by customers on the planet's top review sites. And if you're looking for yet another way to increase and diversify your agency's revenue streams, Agora Pulse has a free webinar to help you do exactly that. So head on over to bit.ly/add agency revenue to sign up, learn, and start driving more revenue from social media services. So this is really exciting for me, Katie, because it's not just only live streaming on the other platforms, but also you could you could have these event productions on conferences and on summits and even like annual shareholder meetings and all the different things. It makes it so exciting to see all of that come into play. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're strategic, you can really think about all of the different ways that businesses are communicating internally and externally. And 99% of that these days, especially, is through video. So, really thinking through how you can take some of that pressure off of them and make that experience much more engaging and professional and fun. I think people are tired of sitting on Zoom calls where, where it's just droning on and on for hours at a time. I think there are fun elements that you can bring into that. And there are a ton of tools and ways to make that experience wherever it's being broadcast to, or whether or not it's a pre-recorded video or a live video. You can help your clients make that experience really memorable and really engaging. And that's the point of it. Like if people aren't paying attention, aren't listening, it's not worth it. It's not worth doing. So if you can find
Yeah.
ways to make it easier for them to add that level of professionalism and that level of engagement, it's really, really huge. And I think it just comes down to really thinking through what you're best at, what your team is best at, and and how you can build out those services, even if it's a little bit slowly. Start with just a few basic services and test it out and see how it goes with some of your clients that really could benefit from it most, and then grow it as you get better and
Yeah.
as more opportunities come up. But don't leave it sitting there. That is money sitting on your
You're
table.
sitting on a content gold mine. Yeah. So for those of you tuning in, I mean, we're talking about remote live production, what it really means and where it's evolving to, right? It's more than just pushing the buttons to go live. I can't tell you, Katie, how some people are like, yeah, we're just going to connect and we're going to go live. I'm like, but there's so much more that you can do. Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, that's cute, that's cute. Right. And so how can using a tool, I don't even want to call it a tool. How does using a production studio like Ecamm help, and what kinds of production elements can an agency plan for in advance?
Yeah, a lot. Almost everything can be planned out in advance. So Ecamm actually uses a feature we call scenes, and that
Hmm.
helps you to think through the flow, or what we call the run of show of your content. So it's a really great starting point, and it's a perfect space for agencies to be able to make that process really easy for clients. You're like,
Yeah.
the first scene is going to be an intro video where we're going to talk about, like what the content is, and plug a little bit about the business. And then the second scene is going to just be a camera shot like what we're seeing right now, with maybe a branded frame or some kind of branded element around it. The third scene, we're going to be rolling a video clip talking about, an amazing new product or service the business is offering. You can build all of those out in advance with all of the elements, your video clips that you're rolling, all of the, logo and cool graphics, your titles, what we call lower thirds, any animations,
Yeah.
GIFs, literally anything you want. Build those into the scenes so that when it comes time to actually going live, it literally is as easy as pushing a button. You're literally just going next, next, next.
No,
That's as easy
true.
as it gets.
I'm not lying, because once you have all the scenes set up, like this is my stream deck, right? And I just push the different buttons. And yes, to your point, as far as like what an agency can do when you're developing the run of show is, yes, you could have the storyboard, but now you're also helping your clients understand that if they want their show sponsored, how can they put in bumper videos? How can they package up what their content series is going to be, their virtual summit, or all the different things on how to really get sponsors excited about it? Because it's more than just here's a graphic, right? But if they could send you like a 15-second clip of how amazing their product is, then you put it into the run of show, and now your client's looking at you like, hey, agency, you know your stuff, like you keep doing you. And that's what makes it so exciting.
Well, and what's awesome about it is like, shh, don't tell them, but literally drag and drop that video in as it saves into your runner. It is it's not hard, but it gives that level of confidence to someone on the other end. Like if someone is to hand you an entire produced show and all you need to do is open up the app, hit the go live button, and then literally hit the next button, like you could have a stream deck like Stephanie is using, or you
Yeah.
could just hit the keyboard down button and it will go from one scene to the next. And and you're able to make sure that all of the content that you want in that episode, in that piece of content, in that video is being featured, which also makes it really easy for things like presentations. Like I have always been that person where if I have to speak, on a stage in a video, I'm like an over planner. I'm freaking out. I'm like, why did I sign up for this? I'm not a good public speaker. I'm like having breakdowns. Having it in Ecamm has made it just a joy because I don't
Yes.
have to be worried about my notes or a teleprompter or anything. I have all of those little elements, those, fun GIFs and little video clips and fun things that come flying onto screen. And they're all visual reminders of what I need to say next. It's like, this
Yes.
little graphic comes on screen and is like a person freaking out. And I'm like, now I need to talk about how I'm scared of video. I see the graphic has come on screen. So it really does add, all of that level of confidence. And it's just a matter of it's just an outline. It's just an outline of the show that you've built visually in advance and sent over to a client or sent over to your team member who's just going to be driving the show. And it can be as complicated or as simple as you want it to be. You can have
Yeah.
someone there behind the scenes really running the show, like the amazing Mike Alton is doing for you today. But you could also woo! Or you could also just pass off a lot of scenes to a client who is more capable, but just needs that level of confidence
Of
in someone
handling.
else
Yeah.
flowing through the show for them. And then, then they're able to replicate it and look fantastic. And at the end of that, they're going to want to do it more regularly. They'll get all of the credit and joy and revenue that comes from really nailing it and for looking amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we talk about live streaming in general, there's always that feeling from clients where like, oh, well, anything can go wrong with the live stream, right? And so,
It's true.
and PS, by the way, live streaming is improv. Let's be honest. Live streaming is improv. And that's actually what makes it so exciting, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not always about perfection, it's about
No.
connection. God,
Yeah.
it's about connection. But let's still talk about what kinds of troubleshooting steps or backup plans that an agency can have in place to help their clients.
Yeah, you and I was talking about this a lot, and I think I've learned a lot of tips from even doing these kinds of interviews. It is amazing to me how much more professional and supportive you as an agency are going to look when you have a backup plan. Better yet, have two or three. Have them written up in advance, have them available for everyone, have it include all of the point people that are there to answer questions if and when something goes wrong. But really, there's only going to be a few things to keep an eye out for that are really awful, and most of them are going to come down to video quality and camera issues, audio quality and microphone issues, and internet quality and everything
Mhm.
shutting itself down, right? So thinking through, what is the backup plan if a camera goes down and fails? Do you have a backup camera? Have you trained a team member who is on site how to use and set up a backup camera? Does the host or the person who is on screen know what to do? What will happen if the camera turns itself off, battery dies, all the different things that could happen. Same thing for a microphone and audio sounds. Same thing for internet connection. Do you have a backup connection? Are you wired in or are you using Wi-Fi? There are a ton of different tools available, but making sure everyone knows the plan and you've done a sound check, video check, all of those kinds of tests and check-ins with everyone involved in the team in advance. And that could even be 15 minutes before you go live, totally fine, as long as everyone knows what happens if something goes wrong. The cool thing about it is that people, for the most part, will put up with a lot. Like you said, that, they're really expecting it to be authentic. They know that you are live. They know that things happen here and there. So don't be afraid to, calmly laugh it off a little bit, and walk through what the steps are to get it back up and running again. Your video goes down, no worries. People are going to remember that. But making sure that you don't just like panic and turn everything off and think that it's a complete failure is, as important to have on a plan and in your troubleshooting process as knowing how to reconnect a different camera. How you respond is really important, no matter what the environment is. No matter how important that video is to you or to your client, knowing how you can get through any of those blips or any of those issues without panicking or looking really upset about it is usually important. Like, the like panic of like, what happened and how do I fix this? Trying to avoid
Oh
that as
yeah.
much as you can. It's huge.
That's so funny. I was a speaker for an event and something was happening on the back end for the remote producer that they have. And being a remote producer myself, like you could just know instantaneously like the physiology, but like the dead giveaway was like he was not breathing. And I was like, dude, like what's happening? How can I help you? Because what you're doing is actually the topic that I'm covering, and like I have so much love for other producers. In fact, Jeff C, who's in the comments right now, he's saying that backup plans are key. Great point. Saved his bacon many times. Yeah. Have backups on backups. I even have like an extra scene where I'm just like, hey, someone forgot to feed the hamsters. So give us like a couple of minutes or something. Or
Yeah.
even when you're having an event, just have a bumper video, just to have a bumper video or a behind the scenes video or something as you figure it out and work it out. So that's always helpful.
Yeah. And of all of those things, obviously, internet is the most important. If internet's going crazy, that's going to be bad. Next is actually audio. So I feel like most people are, immediately think that your camera is the most important in your video coming in, but people without a camera can still hear you and can still engage with the content. So it's way more important for your microphone and your audio to be great than your video if you're prioritizing them in your troubleshooting checklist. But having one and having a standard that you can give to all clients at the beginning of the process that says, hey, this is live video. Things can go wrong, but we have a plan. In fact, we have multiple plans and we're going to walk you through how all of it is going to work. And we're here to have your back if anything goes down. And here is, exactly the steps that we are going to take. Just helps build that level of professionalism and makes you a partner that client is always going to want to work with and always going to want to recommend.
Agree. I love it. And I was just showing off my wireless Rode microphone because this has been essential for when clients tell me like, "Oh, I'm going to a conference." I'm like, "Hey, did you know that you could do on-the-spot interviews?" And this thing will connect to like a mic wand, I guess you could say. And then you could have like a little dead cat on top of it, but it makes the audio quality so much fun. I love this. I love this episode. So, hey everyone, what we're going to cover next is it's going to tie in everything that we just discussed together and make it super simple for you as an agency to get started. But first, I definitely want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the crew. We've got Deb Mitchell, Troy McDonald, who is sharing this live to his audience. Absolutely appreciate you. And yes, Cynthia, there will be a recording available. So if you are not able to hang out now, then go ahead and come through and you could always watch the replay. Oh, we have something that says, I love the Rode Go 2 wireless mic. Yeah. One of my good friends, Kelly Noble Marabella, was showing it on a recent video and she has like the white one. I think she held up 4 on camera and I was cracking up because to Katie's point, you need to have backups on backups. And let me tell you, last year, when it was very, very difficult, remember, Katie, when it was very difficult to get a webcam and all the different things, clients emailed me. Yeah, clients were like, can I rent your Logitech? And I was like, yes, it's right here. It's the Brio 4K. And then now it's a part of my onboarding process for clients where when you work with our agency, you get an onboarding kit that comes complete with your own camera and all the different things because we know that quality is important. So a couple of ideas for you agency accelerated folks out there. So Katie, here's another question for you. For agencies when they're getting started, right? What are some resources? What are the needs or the costs that's going to be involved in adding remote live video production or remote video recording into their agency services?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to need to think through who are the team members that you are going to need to train. So are you going to bring on some remote live producers or additional team members that will be specialized in this, or do you need to train your existing team members, and what are the costs associated with that? There are certainly costs associated with the gear that you want to have. So, whether you're building kind of a live streaming or a video studio space within, your building that you can have as kind of a home base, or you're putting together kits, like Stephanie said, that either your team members are bringing out on the go or you're sending to clients. Gear can be quite expensive, and it's probably the most expensive of all of the things that you will need to have a really professional setup. Obviously, computers and things to run it on, and then, a software like Ecamm Live that's going to help you power all of it. Ecamm's probably one of the cheapest things on the list.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. I was on a consulting call. This is between you, me, the Wi-Fi, and Agency Accelerated. But
Yeah.
I was talking to this event organizer, and they were entertaining the idea of using a different platform, which I won't name. But
Yeah.
my my thing is that if you ever go to a website and they don't tell you what the price is, you have to sign up for a demo. I'm thinking that it's probably going to be higher than what Ecamm is, which I think the pro plan's like $39 a month, right?
Yeah. So yeah, and we have a standard plan and a pro plan, and we have monthly and annual pricing. And yeah, I mean, at most it's I think it comes to 400 ish a year at the highest level. So it's not a crazy expense, especially compared to some of the other different things that you're likely subscribing to and paying for to run your business. But I will say the power of Ecamm does rest in all of the customization and everything that you're able to do with it in order to be as professional and as on brand as possible. And so you don't want to do something like sign up for Ecamm, get just one camera and a light and a microphone and be like, we're good, we have live streaming services. You are going to want to invest in the gear and the equipment that is going to make the software help you to shine and help your clients to shine. So, and that's going to vary for each client, and it's going to vary for the size of your agency and what you're trying to accomplish. So really having the right software and the right gear and equipment is going to
Yeah.
matter, and making sure that members on your team are really well trained in it. The biggest question we get 24/7 is, what kind of camera should I buy? What kind of light should I buy? How do I set up so, and it is very specific to each use case. So having team members that really understand that is going to put you at ahead of a lot of your competition, because that level of comfort that you can bring to a client, that your stuff and you're going to make them look
Yeah.
great, is huge. So it's that's going to be time consuming and likely kind of the most expensive thing you'll need to consider to get the right equipment for you and for your clients' needs.
Very true. And again, shout out to Jeff C, who's saying that the customization part of Ecamm is what really separates you from everything else, and especially the competition. And so, like, even when you were talking about gear, so I have so many stories about this. But again, I had another client where this was when we still had in-person events, and they were already going to have a video production crew to film the event. Yes. Well, because
Yeah.
when
Yep.
when you're having an event, you would have the PowerPoint presentations, and so you would have all the videos and all that, right? And so the
Yep.
client had asked, well, how much would it cost to actually live stream this? And again, it was like a five-figure quote that they received. And so I'm sitting there, as the consultant
Right.
managing the social media. And I was like, friends, I have this. And this isn't a commercial. It's like, I have a cam link. All I need from the video production team is an HDMI cable, right? Yes. And
You
the
can't do that.
audio, and it will feed into my like 2014 MacBook Air, plug it into Ecamm, give me some bumper videos, because when everyone's eating at the gala, you want to, and they literally, it was kind of like, who is this MacBook Air person sitting in our production services area? And I was like, but let me tell you, I know that you've captured everyone's attention here, 800 people into the ballroom, but I've got over 5,000 viewers. So
Yep.
When you have the right gear, right,
Mhm.
that's what separates you. And so, yes, combining Ecamm with everything else is absolutely helpful. And so Cecilia is asking us, Katie, what makes
Mhm.
a company an agency? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, that's a really great question. I feel like it's probably shifting a lot in the environment that we're
Mm-hmm.
in right now. I think traditionally an agency is made up of a series of experts, typically in marketing related services that are helping clients from multiple industries shine and get their business out there in front of customers and potential customers. But these days that could be as small as one person and as large
Yeah.
as you can imagine. And I think all different kinds of services being offered now that traditionally were never a thing. I think a lot of it was advertising and PR were kind of the two cornerstones initially, but come a long way in different kinds of services that everyone's able
Yeah,
to offer.
you could chunk down so easily. So Cecilia, the show is agency accelerated, right? Because it's sponsored by Agora Pulse, which is social media, but a social media agency in and of itself, right? If you were only a social media agency, you would be focusing things
Mhm.
like content marketing, advertising, such as like paid media, and content creation, repurposing, all those different things, and growing channels and growing communities. But even a social media agency in and of itself used to be a part of a creative agency. And the creative agency could
Yeah.
have PR, and all the different things and digital marketing. And then social media was under that umbrella. And so when we think of agency accelerated, yes, it's for social media folks and all the different things. And what we're talking about is adding live streaming as an additional service onto it. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, then now we have live streaming agencies, right?
Yeah.
Because there are different departments now that are in charge of the technical producer, the overlays, project management, possibly maybe even sponsorship that's included. And then you have the content marketing team, which all could be under one house.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that we learned from Showrunner Secrets from the Set, the project that you and I worked on, is that there are resources in relationships. And in the Ecamm community, there are so many talented producers and creatives that you can have be a part of what it is that you're building.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's so many different great minds and ways to whether it's permanently or temporarily build out your business. You're like, okay, well, we're working on this amazing project. I'm going to choose from these 6 different people who are experts in all these different categories to bring onto our team to help make this project shine. And and that in itself is a kind of agency, I suppose. It would be, being able to
Yeah,
have
it's
the
I mean, honestly, coming from like a social media agency background too, there are times where we would win the pitch, right? And if there
yeah,
was a discipline that we didn't have, well, then we would just bring another team on
get out.
board, and they would be under our umbrella. And so it's normal to do that. There just has to be someone that is the lead, that's in charge, that has a
Yeah.
process and a flow for it. And there needs to be someone that needs to be the main communicator with the client. Because as you and I know, there are some people that get lost in the details and try to make things super duper complicated when it's like, you know what? All we need is just, you just need to plug it in, right?
These 5 things. Please help us with these 5 things. Yeah. Yeah,
Seriously.
absolutely.
So here's
Absolutely.
a comment from Cecilia, and she's saying, sounds clear. So agencies can be in various disciplines. I'm rebuilding my publishing company, but have become inspired to call it a publishing agency. Yeah,
Hmm.
Cecilia, absolutely. Go and do that. And as a publishing agency, you've done publishing too, right? That was in your background.
Yeah, I worked as a marketing manager in cookbooks. So
Oh,
definitely,
I love my
definitely.
first live streaming project was a cookbook for a client. And
Yeah, there you
so
go.
And so, Cecilia, if you think about this as a publishing agency, now this is an opportunity for you to add into your agency the services of live streaming for your clients. Because I know when we launched our book, the editor wanted to know, how are you going to promote the book? And so, if you could say that you're bringing your client on to be a guest on other shows just like this, right now they're doing a virtual publicity tour and all the different
Yeah,
things.
book tour,
I remember
exactly.
reaching out to you. I was like, "Hey, we're having our book launch. What are your?" And you had told me about like the bookmarks and all the different things, and I was like, "Katie,
Yeah,
you're so cool."
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing it, this is like pre-live streaming days. The kind of key thing in a virtual book tour was the idea of doing a blog tour. So it was like your author was like the guest voice contributing to all these different blog articles on all blogs that were in my case in the world of cooking and food blogs and all things foodie. But now that has all been replaced with video and live streaming, and people want to be able to see one of our Ecamm Live members, who actually was one of my authors back when I worked in publishing and is now like one of my favorite people in the world of live streaming. Kathy Hester is like
Yes.
an amazing home chef. I own all of her books. I would have owned them regardless of whether or not I worked on them. But she's been doing video for a while, and she was like, right as I was leaving that job, she was already leading the way for the notion of doing like a virtual video book tour, being able to bring people up on stage and ask questions and really create the same kind of interactivity and excitement that used to happen in person in bookstores across the country or across the world, and now happens right in their homes. She's inviting people right into her kitchen to cook with her, and that's such a fun, interesting, exciting experience. And an agency can certainly facilitate that. A lot of authors don't know how to do that, and a lot of
Yeah,
publishing companies don't know how to do that.
turn it into a live shopping experience
Yeah.
for these authors. And then not only that, though, but there's so many content creators or producers that we have in the community where they're doing Amazon Live. And do they sell books on Amazon Live? They sure do.
Sure do.
And
Sure
so
do.
this is an opportunity for authors to be on those Amazon Live shows. Or if you want to produce your own channel, then that's really going to be exciting. Cecilia is coming in on the comments again. Let me go and pull this up. She's saying, "Lady, you're getting the idea." Jesus, I'm telling you, Cecilia, when you hang out with us, oh my gosh, we are a force to be reckoned with. Cecilia saying, "So I was instinctively on the right path because that was part of my upsell vision for my publishing clients." Yeah, Cecilia, there's so much that you can do. Give them the coaching, tell them all the different things. If they're being interviewed on other shows, how to show up and look amazing on camera. Katie, if there's anything else that you wanted to say about Ecamm, what would it be? What would you want them to know, especially Cecilia?
All I really ever want to say to everyone watching when it comes to Ecamm is that we really are a company that cares. We really want to help you be good at this. So if if you're sitting here in the chat and watching us, whether it's live or on replay, and you're like, I know it could be valuable, but I just don't know how to go about this, or I just don't know anything about cameras, or I'm just a little bit overwhelmed. We're here. We are live every day, I think, at this point. between anyone on our team. Doc does a live stream, I think, multiple times a day at these days.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, right? And we have tons of resources. We have an amazing Facebook group. We have over 17,000 people in that group, and they are the most supportive, helpful video geeks and enthusiasts across every possible industry. So you are not alone. It is easier than you think. It is more profitable than you think. And just the opportunity to jump into this space before it gets as crowded and as crazy as it's going to get is huge. So please take the chance. Even if you never use Ecamm, come and hang out with us in the community and get inspired and learn from other people. It really will make a difference just seeing what others are able to create and ideas that they are bringing to life is just astounding.
Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's all that we have today, folks. And remember, subscribe to the calendar at agorapulse.com/calendar for the rest of the season. Katie, go ahead and bring her back on. Katie, you were absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Friends, honestly, if you have any questions about Ecamm or production services, like literally all the things, like Cecilia, feel free to reach out to Katie, connect with her. What's the best place? Would it be like LinkedIn or just in the group, or what works best for you?
I'm all over the place. The easiest way to directly reach me is just to email katie@ecamm.com. But you can find me in the community. I'm all over every social platform. So either my name, which is Fawkes is my last name, so I'm fairly easy to find, or any of the channels that Ecamm has. I'm happy to answer questions.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So, as I said before, that's all that we have today, folks. You are more than welcome to add Agency Accelerated to your calendar because, like I'm telling you, week after week, we are bringing on some of the brightest minds to really help you level up your agency. And so, you can see with our amazing calendar all the different things that we have coming up. In fact, next week on September 8th, it's going to be with Microsoft Advertising, and on September 22nd with Square 11. And in the coming weeks, we'll start to share more about what next season is going to look like. So if you've been following along like week after week after week, if you're like Stephanie, I would love to learn how to accelerate my agency by learning about X, Y, and Z. Who can you connect us with and all the different things? By all means, drop them in the chat. Let us know, what ideas you're thinking about. I'm also even thinking, Cecilia, like let's touch upon like the publishing industry and all the different things and how you can partner with agencies for that. Also, here's another note is to take advantage of our free webinar on how to add agency revenue by adding social media services at bit.ly/add agency revenue. I'm telling you, so much good stuff for you to learn, to walk away with, to build your agency and really scale. So everyone, thank you so much. See you next week and take care. What else do I have?